Right, hi everyone, welcome back to another video. Sorry to keep bombarding you with line boring jobs, but I've got another one to do. So I've had a bit of a backlog, but we're getting through them. This is a little JCB tool carrier headstock. As you can see, them holes need line barring because they're oval. So before I start on this job, I've got a little side mission to do. Now these plates that I made before to hold the bearings on, not suitable for this job because there's nowhere to weld the stands onto. So I'm going to have to make some different plates first. So the first line boring job I did after I'd made these, I just had this tacked onto there, and then they had this tacked onto whatever I was line boring. And I was going to mill some slots into it, bore it out, drill it and tap it, so that would bolt onto it. But there isn't really, when I profiled it out, when I plasmed it out, I should have made that thick around there, because when I drill and tap it, there's not really going to be enough left, and it doesn't have slots in it. So I thought rather than spend ages milling slots in that, I'll just plasma out some new ones. So I plasmed out that one, and then this one here, so then I can bolt my stands onto it that I made before. Now these slots are 16mm, they're a bit tight. I might just have to die grind a little bit out of them. That one's alright. That one's alright, just a little bit to die grind out of that one. And now what I'm going to do is put it in the lathe. I'm just going to hold it internally with the 3-jaw, and then I'm just going to have to bore it out to 114mm. So then that step can sit into there. So then, like the same as these, if I weld all these on where they need to be, I can take the bearing off, and then I can get through into the middle if I need to do any bar welding or anything. That's the reason why I need to make them like a precision fit onto there. So yeah, I'll get the 3-jaw mounted back in the lathe. I'm sick of taking it in and out, but anyway, yeah, I'll mount the 3-jaw back in the 4-jaw, bore them through, and then I'll have to drill them and tap them, and then we can do some more line boring. Right, so I've got that mounted in there. It's not ideal. It's a good job it's a gap bed. But steady away, should be alright. Obviously I can't go all the way through, but I don't need to do. I only need to take a 5mm deep step out of there. Right, so that's both of them machined out. Fits nice. That fits nice. So I'll line it up with a hole at the top, and then I'll drill and tap them holes. It's come out slightly offset for some reason when I was holding it in the lathe. I don't know whether the holes are slightly tapered or whether the plate moved when I was cutting them out. But anyway, it doesn't matter in the slightest for this job. Just doesn't look as good. Right, so that's both of them drilled and tapped, so I can bolt the bearing housing on, and then I'll swap the other one over. The other one's still bolted onto that plate. Swap them over, and then I can get on and do some line boring. Right, so I've got the bar through. I've used my alignment cones to line it up through the hole. I'm just going to take some measurements, make sure right first. With the hole being oval, it might not be bang in the middle. I've just put a wedge through there. I could do with making something better to push the cones into the holes. Something threaded maybe, I'm not sure, but that works for now. So I'll just double check that, make sure that's right, and then I can slide the bearings on and weld them onto place. Right, so I've got my bearings mounted now. I couldn't use my stands because my boring bar is not long enough. If I used the stands, the bearings would have been too far off and it wouldn't have gone through both sets of bearings and then had enough travel to do the job. So yeah, I've just welded the bolts straight on. Don't really like doing that, but it'll do for this job. I need to get my longer bar made. So yeah, I'll mount my line bar on now and then pre-cut them through so they're round again and then weld them round and then line bar it back through again. Right, so I've got the tool set up using that neutral tool just because last time it seemed quite happy to take a good cut out. I've got it set 10mm out of the bar, so it should make the hole out to 60mm. So we'll try that for the first cut. Well, that's just ruined that tool. So I've changed tool over now onto that one. So it was all going fine until I got to where the bolt hole is. And then it destroyed the tool. So I'll take a bit less of a cut and maybe go a bit slower with the RPM and feed. Right, so I'm struggling a bit with these inserts again. I think they're just too small for what I'm trying to do with them. You can see it's just blunting that one, just taking the end off. So I've ordered some new tools to take these inserts. They're a lot bigger. These are, I think they're 09 T3 inserts. And then I've ordered 12mm tools to put them on instead of, that's an 8mm tool. But it fits in a 10mm round hole, so the tools I've got will fit in a 12mm round hole, so they should be better. So I'll struggle on with these for now. Hopefully I can get the job done with these, then next time I'll be using them. Right, so on to the second hole. doing the first cut on the second hole. I'm taking out as small a cut as I can because the insert's up to the bar. So they're both bored out now, so they're both round and clean. So I'll take the bar out and then bar weld these round. Right, so I've got the boring bar out and the holes are ready to weld up now. I've got it transferred onto some trestles so that I can weld a bit and then lift it up with a forklift and then weld a bit more, so I'm not welding out of position too much. What I'm going to do now before I start welding, I'm just going to preheat the bars a little bit, just get them hot so then it's not drawing as much power out the weld. Right, so I've got done the first time round. I had to change wire, I ran out of wire, so I'm on 1mm wire now instead of 0.8. So it's a bit harder on 1mm wire than it was on 0.8, but it doesn't look too bad. So I'll give it a clean up and then I'll do another run round them both. I can see a bit better now I've cleaned it up. There's heaps less splatter than there was last time I did the job. So yeah, we'll do another run round there now. Right, so I've got them welded round. I've been round 3 times to make sure I have enough weld in there. It's a pretty difficult job. I'm glad I made these removable, these bearings, so I could reach in through there, but it was still difficult getting into to weld them up properly. But anyway, now I've got a little bit too much welding, so I'm going to die grind a little bit back out. But it's less of a hassle die grinding some out than it is not having enough. So there's a bit to die grind out of this one, then I can get my bar back through again. Right, so ready for the first cut back through again. It probably won't survive that little insert because it's got quite a big depth of cut to take out, but that's as far as it'll go into the bar. It's a good job I stopped because I've just realised it had been oversized anyway. That sticks out the bar 9mm. The bar's 40mm. Right, so when my new tool comes, I'm going to drill these holes out to 12mm anyway. So what I've done with this one to get the tool further back into the hole, see with that one it touches on there. So this one I've just drilled into it with an 11mm drill, just in about 5mm deep. And then when that goes in, the tool will go further into the hole. I have to chop the back of it off obviously, but then that should get me to the size that I need. Right, so that's in and tightened up, so good for a go again now. Right, so I've got the first cut done, now I've run into another issue, as if I don't get enough issues as it is with line boring. So now my spring calipers won't fit round the bar into the hole, so I can't measure what size the hole is. I don't want to take the bar out because if I have to take the tool out to take the bar out, and then I lose my position where the tool was when I put it back in again. So you sort of need to know, you need to measure the hole now with the tool set where it is. So whether I can alter, I don't really want to alter these because I like this set. So I'm not quite sure what to do at the moment. Panic over, I've found another set of spring calipers that will fit in the hole because I've got less of a bend on the end. Need a bit of a clean up. Trouble with this workshop is everything goes rusty because it's damp. Everything's so damp, especially at this time of year. So that's that one done. Happy with the size. So I've taken the tool out, going to put it in this hole now. I'm just going to have to drill it a bit bigger, same as what I did with this one, before I can put the tool in. Right, that's that second one cut. That measures out right. So I'll take the tool out, take the bar out, take everything off it now. So I can't chamfer the holes because if I try and go backwards, it just pulls the taper out of the drill. I need to make something to hold that in. I haven't got around to doing that yet. So I'll just go around them with the grinder, get rid of all that excess weld, and then that'll do. Right, so that's everything taken off now. That's what we're left with. I've been through with a sanding wheel just to buff it out a little bit, but there's a lot happier with the bar welding this time. There's one or two little bits maybe, but no, it's a lot better than last time. So I was using 0.8 wire to start with until I ran out of wire, and then I changed on to 1mm wire. It was definitely easier with a 0.8mm wire. So I tried to avoid them holes best I could when I was welding it up. But I'm just going to have to go through now just to clear the holes out so you can get a bolt through. But I think I'll do that with a die grinder. I'll go in through that side with a die grinder, because I think if I try and do it with a drill, I'll end up snapping a drill. Right, so I've got a pin cut. which fits nicely into there, so that's all alright. But now obviously the hole is slightly lower than it was originally. Because the hole was slotted, I didn't really know where the middle was, but I used my alignment cones to get it right that way, and then I took measurements from that pin centre up to the bar, and then from the hole out to the bar on both sides. So everything's parallel, but obviously this is slightly lower than it was, which is not a problem for the loader, it's not a problem for the machine. But what it is a problem for is this bolt that holds the pin in. Now I don't really know how I could have avoided this problem, because you can't really line a bar up off 2 bolt holes to get it in the middle. So an easy way I could solve this problem is just by drilling the hole for the pin in the pin offset slightly, but that's a bit of a bodge job, and then the pin would only fit in one way. So if you ever need a new pin, you'd have to get a pin made specially with a hole drilled off centre. So I don't really like that idea. So what I'm thinking I might have to do is fill one side hole in with weld, and then leave these ones. Put the pin in the milling machine, drill a pin through down the middle like it should be, put the pin back in the hole, and then I can use the hole in the pin as a drill guide to drill a new hole out at this side. That's what I'm going to have to do, I think. Fill the hole in, drill a pin, use that as a drill guide, drill a new hole through the bottom of there. So I think a 10mm is the smallest drill that's long enough to be able to drill through it all. So if I drill a pin out with 10mm first, then it's not as hard work trying to drill through this just with a battery drill. And then I can re-drill that out to 12mm, and then drill that out to 12mm. So I've got the pin drilled out at 10mm. See, that lines up in the centre there. Same with that one. So what I need to do now is try and fill these holes up the best I can. Obviously I'll take the pin out again. I'll fill it up best I can from this side, and then best I can from the inside without disturbing me freshly line bored hole. I've got them holes filled in best I can from the top without damaging the hole too much, and filled in from the bottom. So I can put my pin back through now, and I think I'll tack that in the right place. Just put a little tack on the end and then drill through it with a 10mm. So the pin's tacked in, so hopefully now we can drill through there, use the pin as a drill guide, and then drill through the other side. I've done it at 10mm first because then I'm not trying to drill a 12mm hole through there, so I'm drilling a smaller hole through to start with to make it a bit easier.
I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing, keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing, keep the flame on max. I'ma keep it going till there ain't nothing left. Going till there ain't nothing, keep the flame on max. Keep the flame on max. Keep the flame on.
Right, so I got drilled through both of them now with a 10. So I'm going to take the pin out again, put it back in the milling machine and drill through it with a 12. I know it's a bit of a faff, but I don't want to drill through there with a 12 now, in case I wander off, because it's quite hard with a battery drill to keep in a straight line, and if I wander off then I'm back to square one again. So I'd rather take it out, drill it through with a milling machine, so I know that's bang on in the middle, and I can use that as a guide again with a 12mm to drill through this side. Right, so the pin's back in, I've drilled it out to 12mm, lined it back up again, and I've tacked it in again, and now I can drill through there with a 12. Well, that's already 12, but drill through there with a 12. Right, so that's them drilled through. So they're not perfect because of where I've had to die grind a bit out. But so it's a fixed pin, so it shouldn't affect it at all. But at least now you can get a proper bolt through a standard pin rather than having a pin with an offset hole. So I think that's a better job. It's just annoying that I've had to do it. So in hindsight, I maybe should have paid more attention when I put the bar in on where the bar corresponded with them bolt holes. Either that, or I should have filled one of the holes in with weld before I even started, and then drilled it through like I have done now. But then at least I wouldn't have had the shitty die grindy bits on the inside. But anyway, it's another lesson learned, I suppose. So yeah, that's it for this video. Hey, we've made it to 10,000 subscribers, so thanks very much for everyone for watching my videos, and I maybe need to up my game a bit now rather than recording everything on my iPhone like I am doing now. But yeah, anyway, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.